What's up, everybody? How you doing? Mickey's Parade Ice Pops 84 here. Do you guys remember those? There was a lot of cool little ice cream pops and popsicles and stuff that we grew up with back in the 90s. Yeah, this one today I had to use the VGA trick where you flip the switch and everything, and this one is hard to pronounce. The actual title's not on the spine or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is, while you're looking at the photos of this, I'm going to try to pronounce this from SegaRetro.org. This is Yukawa Motosenmu no Otakara Sagashi. Now, we all know that the Yukawa box, I've mentioned this before on my channel, that, yeah, there was a special Japanese release Dreamcast. I'm not sure if it was just the original release Dreamcast systems for the Japanese audience, but there was a Yukawa box that had a picture of the Sega of Japan director, Yukawa, whatever his name is. And it's just kind of an oddity that they chose just some random guy and they ran with it, and he just kind of became, I guess, kind of like a hesitant or an unintentional mascot for Sega at the time. I'm not completely knowledgeable about him, but he is kind of up there with the Sega mascots with, like, you know, Sega Shiro and I guess Sonic the Hedgehog and other stuff. I mean, Alex Kidd. I mean, like, when you think about Sega, what do you think of? You think of the awesome games and you think of the mascots, right? So Yukawa was one of the mascots. There's like all kinds of like swag you can get. Well, swag's not the appropriate term. I think that if you, I searched for swag one time, like 90s swag, and I was expecting like toys and stuff, but it's like clothes. I don't know. This is one of those games where there's no opening cinematic when you boot the disc. It's just kind of stagnant. As you can see, it looks like the resolution and brightness is kind of popping out. Probably need to turn the brightness down. I got some caffeinated detox tea. Let's see here. I'll try to adjust the brightness at a later time, but I tried to start the intro to another video, and yeah, I just have to get that little TV because the VGA won't work for all the games. But, you know, hey, we do what we can, and we do the best we can. We do our best to move on, don't we? So, basically, I've been just kind of like laying back. I'm editing one video, so in the closing stages of editing a few more segments from Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, so there's no reason for me to keep that information hidden, just because you know I'm going to release that video anyway. Oh yeah, typically I always do little shout-outs to Gollum Cone. That's because he is really positive on my channel, comes out with really good content with the comments. So I appreciate really awesome, thoughtful comments. I appreciate the awesome you know, perspective and slant on view on stuff, because he introduced Dragon Riders to me, and I'm not the best with comments. Sometimes I'm a little bit late with responding, but I'm doing my best. And I just want to invite anybody that might be new to my channel, or like watch and just maybe give thumbs up, or just watches a little bit and just doesn't watch anymore or anything like that. Just you know, I recommend you know, just do a little, hey, you know, if you want to talk about something or have a little bit of insight, or even just like some you know, good criticism or something like that, yeah, by all means, you know, you're welcome on my channel. And what have I been doing lately? I got a few things yesterday. Now, I'm not going to reach through my stuff because I want this intro to be relatively short, even though it's 4 minutes in. But I got, I've been watching Mad TV on DVD, and I got this Addams Family Mad magazine that's spoofing the Addams Family movie. And this was 1992, June of 92. And I'm a big Deep Space Nine guy, and they parodied Deep Space Nine, like, you know, making fun of Quark. I like Odo a lot. Just that whole show is a great show to just kind of just watch. And I haven't read this one yet. It got sent to me in this nice little plastic, you know, like how you get comic books and they come like that. But about halfway done reading this one, and I had some really good chuckles. Like they were making fun of like people trying to grow their own food, and then they you know, went to a drive-in, you know, like a McDonald's drive-in, and just like the animation and the look on people's faces is just the character artists and stuff. I'm not sure if Will Elder was still alive, but his influence is all up in those magazines. I'm trying to track down Mad magazines from the 90s and just anything in general from the 90s because I'm real nostalgic for that stuff, and I've been scouring the web for toys and stuff and just trying to like rekindle. There's this thing called like Domino Rally, which I remember growing up, and I kind of want to track that down. There was some Legos. It was like some space guy with like an M, and I had that toy, and I was very fond of that, and I can probably track down a couple of those. And I remember going to a Goodwill with my family growing up, and I just these aren't really special, but I'm using a box cutter as a bookmark. But this is you know, just the first paperback book from Garfield, and I know it's nothing special, but I like Garfield. What can I say? Garfield's pretty cool. I mean, would you want to live in a world without Garfield? Really? I mean, really. Look inside yourself and ask these hard questions. Do I want to live in a world without Garfield? I also ordered I'm not sure if it's bootleg or if it's legit, but I spent some money on Are You Afraid of the Dark, the complete series. And man, am I excited, because I've been watching Outer Limits, and I was thinking about like maybe after watching some of these DVD sets, I could do a little one-off video and be like, hey, Outer Limits Season 1 review, why not? But pertaining to this game, I believe that when I did play it, it kind of reminded me of one of those like cell phone games or something, and that's neither here nor there. I don't really think there's much to it. There's a VMU minigame, and that's cool. But when it comes to the VMU minigames, I never really go into it. I've done the VMU tool where I made my own little VMU icon and stuff. I'm not like that crazy into it, but it's really cool to be able to do that. VMU tool is awesome. And yeah, this is a Yukawa, whatever that name was. You'll see, you know, it's the title of the video you just clicked on. But oh man, this is a long review, isn't it? But gameplay is going to be relatively short, I believe. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into Yukawa. Blah blah blah. And here we go. So I turned the brightness down significantly, but you know, as you can see, it's just like still popping like hardcore, and that's okay. We do our best. Oh, so there he is. Look at that little animation style. Looks crazy. Looks like a cell phone game for sure, right? A Flash game or something. I have lips that kind of arch like that too. We can't pick and choose our facial features. We're just born with whatever we got, but it's fine. I guess we're all overly critical of our bodies, you know what I mean? But at the end of but then we get old and then we look back and we're like, why did I worry about stuff? I should have just lived. And that's what I'm trying to do, man, you know? I did this 90s quiz last night. It was like, which 90s toy are you? And it asked me like a series of 12 questions. And you know what toy it said that I was? It said I was Tickle Me Elmo. And I remember when Tickle Me Elmo came out, and I totally avoided that bullet. It's like there's things of the 90s that are just totally popular, but I rejected at the time. Like, I didn't necessarily reject Bop It. I had friends with the Bop It, but I didn't really feel the need to get it myself. It's just I wasn't drawn to it. People liked Power Rangers, and I love Godzilla, and I love stuff like that, but I don't know, maybe Power Rangers is something that I should have given more of a shot, but you know, Tickle Me Elmo is definitely something that I did not get into. And I was talking about like Domino Rally. you just do random digging and you get like, I don't know what this is, but yeah, there was Domino Rally, some like Lego toys that I had, and there are these little magic sets that I remember coming across, and it was called Magic Works, and I had one that was kind of like an Egyptian looking one. I don't see the point of this game other than just digging, by the way. But you are Director Yukawa, and you are just digging up Sega's dirty secrets. This is their shameful past and what they had to do. I do think it's kind of weird how the whole Gnostic thing with the Dreamcast swirl and calling the Sega Saturn when there's Saturn worship, which is basically Satan worship. And you think that I might sound crazy, but this is true. Look it up. I don't mean to sound patronizing or anything like that. I'm just saying that there are people out there. I'm not saying you specifically, whoever you are. I'm not accusing you of being closed-minded. Essentially, I am watching a video right now. I kind of have it on pause on my cell phone. It was this dude talking about organic portals and how the difference between organic portals and reptilians. And how organic portals are just kind of soulless and they're just kind of like open to programming. It's just people who just like passively like these shows like 2.5 Men and Big Bang Theory and stuff. Just these people who just and then they equate their life to those shows. And I've worked with people like that. They're like, oh, you're kind of like that guy. I had this one guy say that I was like Sheldon from that show, and I'm like, I don't even watch that show. I don't think I'm like that guy, but that guy's programmed, man, and just like he's just one of those worldly guys, not really knowing what things are about, and that's what an organic portal is, man. They're not fully awake or aware. I keep having to rehash because I go over my little time mark because I have to record in 5-minute chunks. But yeah, I just like to assume that most people have souls. Like I just want to think the best of people, and I don't know. It's kind of like a dramatic thing to assume that people don't have souls. There are people who just kind of assume that everybody has souls, but I'm open to the idea that there are people without them because there's people without morals and values and stuff, and they're just easily programmed. I don't know if that's an indicator of having a soul or not. I know that I don't know, you guys. That's what Socrates said. Socrates is one of the OG players of the philosophical world. If you like Nikola Tesla in the science world, then you would love Socrates in the philosophy realm. That little monument right there makes me think of that Magic Works set that I had as a kid, the specific one. I don't know. I had a troll doll that wasn't mine. It was one of my sister's. It was like it had purple hair, and I gave it to Goodwill. And I probably should have held on to it, but I did research on gnomes and how that's really bad. And like, there's things that I grew up with that, like my dad was in Masons, and there was like little Mason stuff, and just I feel like my childhood home had I don't know, I wonder if my family's cursed. You know what I mean? Because I have to overcome a whole lot of like personal junk. But then again, is it necessarily a family curse, or is it just the fact that our Western culture is just so backwards and messed up, and that like I'm just a normal person reacting in a insane world, like all of this like adulteration in the food and stuff, and just not exercising enough. I did not exercise enough growing up. I should have exercised more. I should have been a part of some sort of sporting club or something. Gotten some sort of brotherhood and camaraderie from that. But I got that from Boy Scouts, so man, there's all kinds of like esoteric, Gnostic, Egyptian type garbage. Stuff makes me feel uneasy when I see too much of it, It's weird. I'm trying not to be worldly necessarily, but I'm like flooding my consciousness with like childhood stuff, and I feel like stuff today is just not as cool. I really do. I feel like stuff was better in the 90s, and you know what? Gollum Cone with the Dino Riders, man, that's cool too, man. It's really cool. Now I'm not going to be tracking down no Dragon Riders just because Hey, that reminds me of Dragon Riders Chronicles of Pern. That was a game, but not Dragon Riders, Dino Riders. Yeah, that's what it's called. But even though Dino Riders is cool, I missed out. I missed that boat. But then again, I vaguely remember. I guess I latch on to what I vaguely remember because of Food Fighters toys. You know, I didn't have them, but I totally loved them and I tracked them down. But there's insane prices for the Dino Riders. The T-Rex was like $200, and I saw like a pterodactyl for like 15. So that's cool, but I feel like that's kind of a slippery slope, man. You start collecting, you get one for 15, and then you get one for 35, and then you get one for 75, and then you bite the bullet for a $200 one. It's like, I don't have that kind of money. I'm not going to live that long to enjoy. I'm not going to live long enough to enjoy all the stuff I already have. That's the key from Resident Evil 3 Nemesis that you had the option of getting rid of. But yeah, you're just digging and you unlock little photos, and I don't really know much about this. One thing about me is that I really enjoy tedious stuff, and I'm kind of like an archivist and a collector. And I don't keep my things organized like I should, but I really do enjoy organizing things, keeping things together, putting things in alphabetical order. I used to work in a movie rental place, and I love putting things in alphabetical order. And so what I'm going to do is just play a little bit of this and try to see if anything happens, and then record some more and then let you know what's up. So, yeah. Alright, I might not be completely lined up with the frame, but director Yukawa got tired and there was this little animation, and I wish I had it recorded just because it was something different, but as you can see, I was going to town trying to dig holes, and then this prompt came up. I don't understand, but I got the feeling that he has a little office in Sega, and somebody came in one night and took like pictures of stuff in his desk and drawers and stuff, because there's like pictures of keys and stuff. Am I saving? What is going on? Oh, I went back to the title screen. Did it get rid of my progress? Because if it did, I don't really see the point of... Let's turn up the volume just to kind of get an idea what that sounds like. But if they give you the option, why not pick stereo, right? No idea what that was. So I think that my progress is not saved because... Oh, I'm in a different day in a different area. Did it save my progress? I don't know. Something tells me it didn't. Oh, it didn't. It totally didn't, man. Because I was making pictures left and right. I guess you're kind of timed without knowing it, and you're supposed to just fill out the photos and stuff. I don't know what that was. I don't know if it was just a sleek black keyboard or if it was a Sega console. I don't know. That looks like a briefcase, right? But this is tedious, and it's not cool, and it's interesting. This screams pack-in game, and it probably was. Was this in the Yukawa box? I would imagine, right? The Hello Kitty review, I vaguely remember giving it a 6.5 because I think it was like a glorified hexagon game. Lovely fruit park, right? So this reminds me a lot of the Hello Kitty games, just in the fact that it's just kind of a preschool game. This is a game for kids. I mean, look at the graphics, look at what you're doing. It's just you're digging. It's kind of like an Easter egg hunt minus finding cool stuff that's actually real and tangible. Yeah, I miss that, man. Just like getting those like Easter eggs, and then having people like hide Easter eggs around, and then you like go around and find them. Yeah, that's something that I could do, man. I could just get some Easter eggs, fill them up, and just go to some random person and be like, "Hey, I got some Easter eggs hiding around, man. Why don't you go around and try to find them?" I mean, that's random and cool. I'm a big fan of like random stuff, Yeah, like sometimes at work I'm like, "Hey, so and so," and then I get their attention. They think I'm gonna say something business related, and then I say, "You're awesome," and they're like, "Yeah, you're awesome," or "Hey, thanks," or and it really does make a difference. Like little stupid things like that. People appreciate that. People want to work with somebody that is positive, just essentially. And I was kind of talking about like people in my comments section and stuff. I'm just inviting positive people. Feel free to, provide insight on games or a different perspective and stuff like that. Because like Gonkon's an OG on my channel here, and good times with that. And if I'm not the best with responding on comments, I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying to do better than I used to, and stuff like that. So this is Yukawa something, and it's not as cool as the Hello Kitty games because the Hello Kitty games make more sense, but it's not completely useless because it's got novelty value. Typically, I give games just kind of a 2 if they're not playable at all, but I mean, even though this game is boring, it's still playable, so it's a little bit better than a 2. So, I'll give director Yukawa a little bit of wiggle room here. I'll just give him like something weird. I don't want to give it a straight 4. I'll just give it a 3.75. How about that? How about a 3.75 for this one? Just because, look at what you're doing, man. It's just, you're digging, you're filling out a photo. It's kind of like, you've played games like this before. I can't really articulate what exactly. It's just you find missing pieces. You just try to fill out photos and stuff, and it just, you wonder why you're doing it, because it's not, there's more fun to be had out there, guys. So yeah, 3.75, why not? Thanks for watching.